Okay, so let's open up Photoshop and let's make a new canvas. Let's make it, let's do width 40 and height 40. Keep it at 72 resolution so the file size is small. And fill it in with a dark color. And actually, let's make it a little wider. So let's do like 60 width. And just fill that in. Alright, so this is going to be your canvas that you can zoom in and out of to add your app screens. So I'm going to drag one in that I created earlier. I'm going to copy and paste it into the canvas. This is the one I'm going to use for this project, so we want to obviously make it smaller. And to do that, you just do edit, transform, and scale. And then you'll be able to, resize whatever size you want to resize it. I hold down the shift key because when you hold down the shift key, then it keeps the size the same. But if you don't hold down the shift key, then it starts to kind of do this. So if you hold down the shift key, watch what happens. See, it automatically makes it the right size. All right, so let's see how big that's actually going to be if I render it out. All right, so that's huge, which is good. All right. So this is going to be the first screen that we're creating, and in this case I'm creating a location details screen for my app. The first thing I want to do is I want to give it a title, so I'm going to call it location. Obviously it's too small and the wrong font, so I'm going to choose over here the right font, and Helvetica Neue, and I'm going to give it like a medium size. And of course my color, which is FF3B30, and the size is ridiculously small, so there you go. Now it's right size. Okay, after I name it, I want to add a back arrow, which I already have, so if you don't have these, you can find them somewhere else. So I'm going to just drag that in there, copy it, and paste it. Obviously it's too small, or too big, sorry. So I'm going to put it up here, and then you can just reverse it by flip horizontal, and there you go, and just use the arrow keys on your keyboard to position it. You can always write the word back here if you want to go back, but I'm just going to leave it alone for now. So location requires three things. It requires choose a country, and then enter a city, and then choose a state if you're in the United States. Now as you see, they're all bunched together, the text, so that's over here. You want to select a text spacing that fits what you're trying to do, and in this case I'm having trouble finding one, so I'm going to just go like this, and there we go. So 98 seems to be about right. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. I could probably make it like 94 and I'll probably fix it. There you go. It's also the wrong font, so I'm going to choose light and bold. And that looks a little better. Oops. I clicked something by accident. Let's go back to light. There we go. All right, you have to click out in order to not have that selected. All right, so this is location unfilled. So I'm going to name it that. Location unfilled. So I'm basically naming my canvas. And I'll make this one medium. Okay, now I'm going to show you guys a cool trick. So you're going to take all of this and you're going to put it into a folder. Okay, so you're going to take these 5 layers and you're going to just drag them into the folder, and you're going to call this location unfilled. That way, you can select this folder and move it around wherever you want on the canvas, or you can make it disappear, or better yet, you can duplicate the group, and now let's call it choose country. And I'll show you why in a second. So now, choose country is next to this. Let's name this choose country. Okay. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line, a blue line. Okay, and the blue line is, I'm going to select the line tool here and wait 10 pixels, and I'm going to go from choose country over to here. And actually, let's move that up to just make it straight ahead, basically. And that way, and this color is really dark, so let's make it a little lighter. There we go. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to put a picker in there. Now, I don't have a picker, but let me see if I have a template for one. That would be very helpful. Oh, PSDs, iOS templates. Let's see. I use Tihin and Lax. They have some great templates. Let's see if we have a picker in here somewhere. That would be nice. I don't see one. So therefore, we're going to have to kind of make one. Now, I have one from another app that I... looks like I deleted it. So let's see where that is. Location, state picker. Alright. So let's go in here. And let's take this picker that I made earlier. Oops. Make sure you have the marquee tool selected. Okay, I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to paste it in here. Obviously it's too big, so you scale it down. A good way to do that is kind of put it next to the square. You'll see it kind of click in. Looks like I got it in there. Just make sure it lines up. Good enough. Alright, and make sure you're in the right folder. So I'm in the right folder. I'm in Choose Country. Obviously, these are not countries. So what I'm going to do, before I change this, I'm going to duplicate this and I'm going to put Choose State, because we're going to need the states. Okay, so I'm going to move this one, okay, over here. And I'm just going to kind of fast forward a little bit. I'm going to delete that arrow. I'm going to select another arrow. This time I'm going to choose the color of this arrow so I don't have to change it again. And this time we're going to do down arrow and then over and then up. So we can show what it is to choose a state. Okay. And this is going to be for choose states. So choose state's pretty much over at this point, and what we can do is we can remove the text here and put in Pennsylvania and United States. Let's actually fill these in. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That's where I'm from. Okay, so this shows choose country. Let's put enter city still. Okay, and we can actually circle. I'll show you how to use a circle. And let's circle United States. Okay, and then what you want to do is you want to take the fill of the circle to 0. Okay, and you'll see an outline, but that circle's gone. So now you want to go into stroke by double clicking, and you want to add a stroke. It's simple. Pick the same blue color. You can make the stroke a little thicker so you can really see it. And then let's do another line. And if United States is selected, then the choose a state field appears. And we're actually going to have to move this because I just realized this is going to belong over here. But that's fine. We're just creating it and seeing how it looks and everything, and that's fine. Picking the right kind of size here. Okay. So this is going to be moved over, and that's pretty simple to do. So we're just basically going to take this, and we're going to move it into choose country. Okay, so I'm going to take it over here. Okay. Pretty simple. And let's get rid of those text, or we can just move it over into the other one. And that's why it's good to have these groups. So let's move that one over here. So I'm guessing you see what I'm doing. And then what we're going to do is we're going to move choose country, choose state, because now this is called choose state, down a little bit. The whole folder, to give room for this text. Okay, obviously the one shape is not correct, so we're going to select this one and we're going to rotate it and just move it over like this, so you don't have to redo it. Nice and simple. And you can even stretch it out so it reaches choose a state, like that. Okay, so let's save this so we don't lose it. Let's call it location pickers. Alrighty, we're getting somewhere here. Then the choose a state field appears. So let's change this to choose a state. And don't forget, we have to take, and where is that thing? There it is. So let's call this picker so we don't forget what it is. We want to change that. And since we don't have a UI picker PSD file that we can, that we can change, and since we don't have a UI picker that we can change, we're going to have to just manipulate this one. So select the marquee tool, but before you do, let's type in United States. Try to match the font if we can. It's close enough. And then you want to just kind of select this here, delete it, eyedropper tool to select the color, paint bucket to fill it in. Real easy. As for these, obviously that's tough to do, so let's find a list of countries. Okay, let's go to the United States. Let's go to U and put them in there. Select the color of this gray here. And obviously they're too big or too wide or whatever it is. Too small, too big. So we want to kind of take this smaller. And let's make it paragraph centered. And then let's take these down here. And this will have to do. We can get a little further involved with like stretching it out. I'll actually do it just to show you what it looks like. So let's get rid of the same thing, the color. Okay, and the same thing down here with the color. Okay, now we can take these and we can kind of do an image distort. So it would be transform skew. It's not skew, it's distort. But in order to do that, we'll have to rasterize this layer. So rasterize type. Okay, now we can distort it. Let's do perspective and see how that, there we go, see? Kind of like distort the way it looks. That's not bad. We can just kind of let it slide. At least the developer will have an idea of what we're trying to do here. We're trying to select the United States, so let's save that. Okay, if United States is selected, then the choose a state field appears. And we can show that field. Okay, and choose a state, we can go like this. Put that one up here. If USA selected. Let's really be detailed. Let's be really detailed as to what we're saying to the developer. So so they understand exactly what we're doing. I would also take this and move it up a little bit, just to... Okay, location unfilled, choose a country, United States. There's the picker, it shows the country. If United States is selected, then the choose a state field appears. Choose a state, choose a state. Here we go. Now we can change this one to Pennsylvania. We can change this one, oops. Oops, keep doing the wrong thing here. It's I'm looking for this here. There we go. Now we can change this to United States and Pennsylvania. Okay, let's save that. Okay, once this is finished, let's take this one, which is choose a state now. We're pretty much done with these. Let's duplicate choose a state and call it enter city. Okay, because at this point, we're going to have to enter the city. You can't choose a picker of that. Obviously, we got to get rid of all these blue lines, so just delete them. And delete this one, because we're not going to use that one either. Enter city. Okay. From here, what we're going to do is get rid of the picker, which I believe is this one here. Yeah. Okay. Enter city. So entering a city means it'll be a text field, which we can tap to add. So we'll just put a little line here. It says when tapped, it becomes a text field. Can't really see where I'm typing here, so let me move this over. Okay, when tapped, it becomes a text field. Okay. And where you can enter the city. Okay, so now that we have the top part, we have to do the part where we have to basically copy these four. Okay, duplicate layers, we're going to move them below, because now, and you have to make the canvas bigger, so let's make this bigger. Let's height, we'll do 50. We'll save it after it's done. Okay, so we'll put these down here, and we'll put these, move them up a little bit. The reason for this is because we want to show the developer what happens when you do not select the United States, when you select another country. So this is where we delete choose a state. Okay, if any other country besides the USA is selected, then the choose a state field disappears. Choose a state field does not appear. Let's just write it that way. And let's put in here Spain, because that's where I'm also from, Barcelona. We're going to change this text to Spain. We're going to move it over. Okay. And then we're going to go back onto that list over here. We're going to go to Spain, and we're going to take, you know, whatever amount of these. And Notepad gets rid of any kind of formatting. That's why I keep using that. And let's, I guess we won't be able to, right, we won't be able to go back in there because we changed the way they look. So, click, let's do it again, same thing. Select the color of them. Okay, let's bring the size down and everything, what we did before. To Spain. Okay, looks like we got this figured out. Okay, we got to bring them centered. Okay. And let's bring the spacing back down. Looks good. And there we go. All right. So let's do the same thing again. Let's kill the color in the background. Huh. Oh. I didn't have to do that. I just get rid of the one that we have in there. I just realized. Alright. And then let's, same thing. Let's rasterize the type. And let's do transform perspective. And I'll get the idea on that one. Alright. So Spain is selected. Choose, so from here we want to remove choose state copy just by doing that. Okay, and actually no, choose a state field disappears. It does because it actually is there originally. See how it's empty. So we'll say it does start out here, but then it goes away. And then you can just move over, enter city copy, and let's put in Spain, Barcelona, and just delete this, the state. Enter city, enter only city, if country other than USA selected. So let's just really kind of explain to developers exactly what we're doing so they totally understand. And this should pretty much wrap it up in terms of how to, you know, really explain to developers what it is you're doing. Now let's get this rendered out. So select everything that you want included. Let's crop it so that it's you know, looks better. Save it, and then the best thing to do is to flatten this layer. So just I'm using hotkeys, but you want to go to image or layer, merge layers, or flatten image, either one. Okay, discard, yes, sure. Okay, so now it's just one image. See, you can just move this whole thing around now. And then what you want to do is you want to render this out so it's too big, so let's make it smaller. Image size, so image size, and what I usually do is I usually cut it in half, so let's just do like 25, and then you can render it out as a PNG and it'll be much smaller. It's only going to be 245 kilobytes. Alright, location pickers, and save. Then you want to undo all that, so you go back to this one. So just go, you know, undo, step backward, Alt Control Z. Just keep doing that until you get back to this screen, because that way you don't lose it. And then you want to save the PSD file. So that way you can keep this as a PSD file, which you'll see here. So here's my PSD file, and here is the PNG file that I can open up. I can zoom in, and people can easily see and move around and see what it is. Very simple. All right, hope you guys enjoyed it. So thanks for watching this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something. If there's ever any tutorial that you want me to create in the future, leave a comment to let me know what it is, or you can email me at jasonsherman.org. And you can also check out my other tutorials, howto.jasonsherman.org. I'll see you in the next one.